I thought they were talking about the bird. I'm like, damn, dude, you guys need to chill out. Like, they're sitting there strapping the girls down and about the exact punishment over a freaking bird. I'm like, I don't think that's a forbidden magic. I mean, it's implying that it's like a beacon or something like that. But yeah, the moment they look down, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Now I see why these guys are getting so serious. Like, if these two girls were involved with whatever this is, yeah, that's something that you kind of have to be wary about. Like, whatever created that is crazy. And it's kind of scary to think that this stuff might actually affect the people that are there. I mean, thankfully, they're all, like, within the sand. It's not absorbing them and turning them into sand. But, like, that's some scary stuff down there. What happened, though? I mean, I have an easy theory, and it's the fact that the brim hat is there, and the brim hat has done it. Like, they're trying to stir up something. They're trying to make Coco into an outcast by making her essentially be deemed as somebody using this forbidden magic. They want Coco branded as a bad guy so that she has to run off, and potentially Kifri runs off with her. There may be a chance that whatever this brim hat's working at knows who Kifri is, and knows that Kifri is going to help out Coco if she gets branded as, you know, that's somebody that is involved with the brim hats. That could be it. It just could be the brim hat himself created this whole effect, and that's what's going on here. Or it could be one of two scenarios here involving Coco herself. The first is that she just messed something up. Like, she thought that she knew what she's seen, and she basically caused a problem. There's a side of me that almost believes, because she said that when she broke up the rock, she used the same spell they did. I just did what I seen you guys do. I used that to break the rock up. There's a potential that she still utilized the same one that they used towards a later part, which was essentially using Tetia's magic and then also the whole repeater thing along with it. Like, this idea of creating this effect that will break down the rock and then again reform it in a way that creates this repeating effect. That's how they created the clouds. They basically used all this rock, turned it all into sand, but then was allowing it to kind of keep repeating to be built up and broken apart to make the clouds. And potentially Coco try to recreate that, what she's seen in that whole scenario, and that's why it's spreading. It's spreading to everything, and it's, again, also turning the water into something. The other idea here is that, yes, and just in general, she didn't know what the hell she was doing, and potentially that because of who she is, there is a taboo involved. There's going to be some sort of outside effect that is causing her magic to act differently than what most people will. He said something to the effect of, an apprentice's magic shouldn't be able to do that. Again, what magic? The one that Coco's seen Agot and Tetia and Risha use. She's repeating that. That's apprentice magic. Whatever she's repeating there shouldn't cause its effect. So he said a taboo has to be involved. What's a taboo? Is it just incorrectly drawing in a certain way? You drew the line wrong somewhere and that will create the taboo? Or is it simply who she is as a taboo? Because, again, she used forbidden magic over here. It might be that whatever she drew back there is just subconsciously in her mind, and she drew that symbol again. I need to draw this, and then for some reason, she goes to recall what that is, but this comes into mind, and she drew that instead. That could be as well. That because, and that, again, that goes to the idea that when you use forbidden magic, you have to have your memories wiped. We don't want the chance that you're going to recall it. She doesn't remember what it is, but she could every now and then subconsciously recall that, and then she drew it, and then suddenly it's repeating. The effect itself is repeating, and it's absorbing everything. It's scary because, again, it makes sense, right? Because if you think about it, it's having the same effect that happened to her mother. When she drew that thing in her house, it spread and absorbed everything. It turned everything in that crystal. What did she do there? She broke up a rock, and it's spreading. Again, that goes in the idea of that forbidden magic being in the subconsciously in her mind. She just accidentally recreated that spell. She literally recreated that spell, except over here, it was repeating this crystallizing effect, and now in this situation, it's repeating this breakup effect. It's just, thankfully, again, it's not affecting the people that are right there, because then they would start, that would have been really freaking tragic. I mean, it still could happen. It still could happen, but that would be really traumatic for her to have caused that. I mean, the first episode got kind of dark with the mother thing, but that's kind of a very typical, like, take out the family member starting story, you know, driving point for the character. I don't see them getting that dark with her character going forward. I just don't ever see it ever getting that dark going forward. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, episode 7 of Witch at Atelier, really solid episode. A lot into Agot being a little bit of a brat. I mean, seemingly showing some sort of reason why she is that way she is. But let's start out the episode again, opening it up with the fact that they're going to go off to this rescue. Again, Agot trying to push Keyfree on wanting to go with them. Here, finally getting the answer as to why they're sort of keeping them put up. And yes, it's because they have to go through a test that allows them to be able to cast in front of others. Now, it does seem like Agot does know, as we see later on, sort of the methods that they use in order to hide that they cast magic. And she understands that you're not allowed to do that. I'm kind of curious if the test is either just a general test, which gives them permission to do such and such things, or if the test itself is, again, testing the scenario about, not using magic in front of others. Either way, yes, we have Orugio. Oh my god, I hate that name again. Orugio says, hey, just let her go. Like, there's only certain things that, you can't learn unless you do it in practice. So Orugio's like, I'll take her with me. Let's go. And then apparently everybody else gets to go as well. And yeah, of course, Keyfree kind of instills upon him that, I'm afraid that she's trying too hard to get to something. And I'm afraid during her frustrations and her kind of haste to grow, she's going to misstep. And again, we see it in this episode. She's pushing herself so much. This is my chance. It's my chance. Thankfully, she kind of caved in the middle of it. Like, she had this moment where she was going to push herself, and thankfully, due to anxieties, she kind of panicked. And thankfully, then Coco comes into effect and says, hey, I want to, work on this. What should we do? And it got Agot to kind of correct herself. Thankfully, having Coco there kind of keeps her in check to go, think it through. She wants to think it through. She's thinking with her brain. Let's think this through. No, I like Urugio when they get there. He kind of arrives and he starts setting things up. Here you go. You know how to use these things. Go ahead and just get them dried and then wait for order. And she's like, wait, that's all you want me to use? You just want me to use these damn rings? That's all I'm going to do? Yeah. What else do you want to do? Like, what are you looking to show off? He's like, I guess his whole concerns for you are real because all you can think about is how to show off. There's times and places for doing that. What are you here for? Like, what is your purpose for using magic other than to help people? Like, you here to show off? That's not what it's here for. So I like his kind of way of throwing it back at her, but unfortunately, again, it just seems like it's just her kind of continuously going, oh, he's looking down on me. I'm so much better than this. He can give me a really cool task. No, I'm better than this. I need to show off. I got to prove myself to this person, which we find out later on, again, through her little struggles, that it's seemingly her mom. I'm guessing it's going to be her mom. It implies to me that obviously we see that she's apparently from a bloodline. Like, she is the daughter of somebody that is really, really special. But it seems like everybody that was surrounding her and looking at her magic were just disappointed. Oh, I couldn't tell that you were actually the daughter of her. Like, what is this basic magic? It's very average. You're not really standing out. You're not that great. And then again, it sort of implies somebody, I'm assuming it's a mother, saying that she doesn't want to have her as an apprentice. No, I don't want you in the family. You're going to bring shame to the family, basically. Get on out of here kind of thing. And it seems like her whole desire here, why she's rushing so much, is because she wants to prove herself. She wants to prove herself to those people, prove that she's talented to those people. Not sure how that has anything to do with right now. I'm not sure what it has to do with right now. They're not here. Agot, they're not here. You're not going to do much here. But again, it goes to that whole idea of trying to prove herself so that she can graduate, and so she can go back there and prove herself to them, flex at them or something. I don't know. It's understandable. I get Agot's character. It doesn't quite line up to sort of what I was thinking about before with Coco, and the fact that she's not taken as serious as I am. I have a goal. She doesn't. This is something that I have to prove to somebody, and she's in the way. That she's not good enough. If I'm not good enough, she can't be good enough. I'm guessing that's sort of what sort of stems her dislike for Coco. But anyways, I like the portable portal. That was super cool. They end up bringing an entire like sheet and they roll it out, and it ends up being that whole like window way to kind of get through there. I thought that was really cool. They just port them on in there. Just set up this little scroll, port them on in. It was really cool. I like that whole thing there. But yeah, this one we have Keyfree and Urugio go in there and save the people. Love the sword. The sword was cool. I'm assuming it's always active because he draws it. It's already pouring out water, and they're glyphs. Like they're etched on there. This isn't like everything else where they have to finish the circle and then magic activates. It's etched in there. It's always active. It's not like the rings that have to be got together. It's not like the shoes that have to be brought together. Unless when they draw it, the blades, like there's two halves and it comes together to create the glyph. But it didn't show that. Like when it came out, it was all together in one piece. So this thing presumably is always active, and it's always like warding away water. It's able to control, which, by the way, very fitting for Keyfree. Which is not water. He's like, God, I hate this water. Damn it. Oh, God, it's too much freaking water. Go figure, Keyfree, of all people, has a blade that wards off water because he hates it so much. There's got to be a trauma. I mean, it did show him at some point as he was talking about the whole thing with him and water. He was, sinking into something, but it could just be like a metaphor, a mentality of him not liking water, but he could have nearly drowned at some point. That's why he hates it. But either way, yeah, the whole scene was pretty awesome. The animation was great. Just the, pulling the sword out, going down there, freaking stabbing the ground, just slicing. It was really, really cool. I like it. Some great animation there. But yeah, following, rescuing everybody. My apprentices will... Never mind. They're over there. They're over there looking at the sword, just geeking out over there. Interesting here that, yes, he notes the fact that the sword has all these glyphs in it. And there's a whole bunch of them. They're very small glyphs, but there's so many of them combined, they can ward off even the ocean. And it implies here in the manga that this is a tactic that they use. The idea of, like, even though there's small, there's a whole bunch of them, and it creates this massive power together, like a combined power. And that he's going to show them that effect back when they get to the, Atelier. Now, granted, not sure if they're going to still have that conversation because they're being trapped, but he does want to show them this as a method. This is a method they actually use, is combining smaller glyphs. Which honestly isn't too much of a stretch here, because again, I think Riche kind of used the same method when she was busting out the wall. A whole bunch of the smaller ones. I don't know if it's the same concept. That's when Keyfree and Urugyo decide to run off and conveniently leave behind Coco with Agot. It was, I'm sorry, I did eye roll. I eye rolled the moment that they all left Agot and Coco, because we know from our perspective that Agot's in this little I need to prove myself mode. And so sure enough, she has to be left alone with our main character, Coco. I like the little scene, like we have Coco over there like, God, I gotta get her shoes back. And this guy's like, thank you, little Miss Witch. She called me Little Witch. She's all super happy getting called Little Miss Witch. But yeah, then we have the kid decide to get all trapped down there. Coco gets involved with the landslide. And then having this moment again that Agot finally kind of goes, okay, this is my chance. Nobody else is here. They need to be saved. I got to figure this out myself. It's going to be the moment that I'm going to be able to prove myself. I almost thought she was going to go out of her way to... I didn't really think that she was going to have it in front of everybody to reveal using magic. I just assumed that she was going to use some sort of magic that was going to lead to getting in trouble. They're not supposed to be really doing much, and it's really in the idea that they're... the fear of them actually, drawing in front of people. But I think there still is a restriction that they're not supposed to be quite yet using magic in public. Even if they do, hide it. So I figured that she would at least do something that would get her in trouble. But again, I like the fact that right here is not her saving the day. You have this brief moment where she is kind of in her own head wanting to prove herself. I kind of wonder if with what the portrayal is there, is it the brimmed hats? I don't think it's the brimmed hats. The depiction they have is all these individuals that are talking down on her, talk about how she's a failure. And they all have like these very kind of artistic designs to them, portraying people overlooking her. It kind of gives me a feel of the oddity of the brimmed hats. Like when we've seen like the brimmed hats themselves, they have these very weird designs on their caps, but they're just like these small little symbols. It's not necessarily like this entire sort of pattern to the actual outline or silhouettes. So I'm not really like too sold on the fact that Agot happened to be from a group of brimmed hats. But there's a potential there. It just could just be what they're sort of doing as a symbolism of fellow witches. This is like a sort of a caricature of fellow witches looking down upon Agot. Either way, if it does end up being the brim hats, that would be interesting. And again, that would sort of, again, apply to Keyfree sort of having his fears about Agot. I don't know why you would teach the daughter of a potential brim hat, or at least a member of the brim hats. I think that's kind of a stupid decision to do because, again, she's going to be easily swayed by them. I think it's just going to be fellow witches. I don't think it's going to be brim hats. I don't think that she's tied in with them, but there's a chance. But no, here having Agot sort of, again, cave to it. I admit that I had a little bit of an expectation that she was going to cave to the pressures and end up doing something reckless. But thankfully, again, she just caves, and then Coco kind of speaks up and kind of gets her to clear her mind. Hey, focus. Coco's not giving up. She's down there literally nearly drowning. I need to start shaping up. Okay, let's figure out what to do. Coco bringing up the idea of using the rings to kind of dry the paper, that way she can use it down there. Before, yes, realizing that Coco's going to have to cast a spell, so she has to create a diversion. Like, she's like, here, I will show my power. And again, drawing under the cloak, which I thought was really cool. This idea that they have to, practice so long, they can literally draw without looking at it. And that's how they perform magic in front of others, is just drawing under their cloak. Yeah, technically, it kind of feel like Keyfree sort of has a situation as well, having a pre-drawn one and just kind of just draw the last symbol on it and then produce this massive dragon. But same concept here. So massive credits to Agot. I mean, that would be drawing like that without being able to see. It's crazy. And it was a very perfect drawing. Like, that thing was huge. But yeah, this is sort of enough to keep everybody distracted while Coco figured out the situation. Not really feeling that she could levitate the rock off, but instead what we see later on, she uses a spell in order to break it down and then draws the cloak to levitate just like the cloak before to lift the two of them up. I love that, like that brief moment of like, hey, I don't know how to keep it from stop floating. Could you please grab us? Please grab us, please. It's like, please try to swim in the air. Okay, yeah, we'll grab you. Okay, gotcha. It was a cute little message here, though. The idea that, it kind of gives a sense that Agot did nothing. All she did was distract them and really didn't, like, achieve anything. But then having Coco here, where it seems like she's the one that pulled everything off, that she's the savior and the hero of the day. No, Coco's like, no, I didn't do anything. Like, I just literally remember what you guys did back there, and I copy what you did back there. I would never have been able to pull it off myself. And yeah, as Agot is saying, I'm not your friend. I wasn't doing that for you. I was doing it to symbol to the, master to come over here. It's like, yeah, right, girl. You literally said that you were distracting them so that she can cast a spell. Even as she's pushing back, you having Coco basically saying, I'm so thankful. We did it. Your guys' spell did it. You guys did it. Y'all saved him. It was cute. But yeah, that's before they get grabbed and pulled up in the air and deemed as being co-conspirators with the brimmed hats because they've used forbidden magic. Again, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Coco subconsciously used forbidden magic. I think that's where I'm leaning. Again, there's a chance that it's this brim hat messing with things, trying to get Coco and Keyfree to be sort of outsiders, branded by the actual knights. But I think it's going to be that Coco subconsciously did that spell because it's so similar, right? That whole spread feels very similar to the spell that consumed her mother. It's just the element within it is break down things. It's not create crystal, it's break down things. There's something outside of that in there, or another glyph in there that she subconsciously remembers and accidentally drew, that is endless spread, or at least an area of spread, a certain area of spread. It's something to do with that. So it's some crazy stuff. I'm kind of curious again how that's going to play out. Or the other question is if anybody's going to be able to save them. It's kind of an oddity. The subtitles say that she's being punished with oblivion, basically wipe her memories. So they're going to do exactly what originally should have been done to Coco, which is wipe her memories. I doubt that's going to happen. If anything, if they do sort of get the spell off, there's probably going to be something that does sort of block it. I don't see Coco losing her memories. But we'll see. Anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 7 of Witch Hat Atelier. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Until next time, y'all take care.